Software documentation, the love letter you write to your future self and the next generation of developers. But what if you could outsource this love letter to a machine? Enter AI-generated software documentation, the tech world's latest attempt to make developers' lives a smidgen easier. Or is it just setting us up for a future of incomprehensible gibberish? Let's dive in. First off, what is software documentation? For the uninitiated, it's essentially a manual for software. It explains how the software works, how to use it, and how to fix issues. It's like the instruction booklet you get with IKEA furniture, but for code. Traditional documentation is manually written by developers, and let's be honest, it's often treated as an afterthought. AI-generated documentation aims to change that. Tools like DocuWriter.ai and Mintlify are stepping into the arena, offering to auto-generate this documentation for you. These tools analyze your source code and churn out what they claim to be comprehensive and structured documentation. Sounds like a dream, right? But hold your horses. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Let's start with the good. Companies like Mintlify have secured millions in seed funding to develop this technology. Their software can automatically generate documentation, saving developers time and effort. Imagine more time to actually code, or, browse Reddit. So how does it work? In the case of Mintlify, first you would install the Mintlify DocuWriter, a VS Code extension that uses machine learning algorithms to analyze your JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, or PHP code. You select the code you want to document, hit a button, and voila, documentation appears. It's like having a little elf in your computer that writes documentation while you sleep. Except this elf needs regular updates and probably has access to your data. But here's the catch. While these tools can analyze your code, they can't read your mind. They don't know why you chose a particular logic or design pattern. So the documentation they produce can be a bit soulless. It's like asking Siri to write your wedding vows. Technically correct, but lacking in emotional depth. And now, the ugly. These tools are not cheap. DocuWriter.ai, for example, offers rapid AI-driven generation of documentation, but at a price. So you're essentially trading money for time. And let's not forget garbage in, garbage out. If your code is a hot mess, expect your AI-generated documentation to be the literary equivalent of a dumpster fire. So what does the future hold for AI-generated documentation? Well, it's still a growing field. As machine learning algorithms get smarter, we can expect the quality of this documentation to improve. But will it ever replace human-generated documentation? That's the million-dollar question. Or in Mintlify's case, the $2.8 million question. So, is AI-generated software documentation a time saver or a recipe for disaster? The answer is, it depends. If you're running a tight ship with clean, well-organized code, these tools could be a godsend. Otherwise, maybe stick to human documentation. After all, no AI can navigate the complex recesses of a developer's mind just yet. And there you have it. AI-generated software documentation is a promising tool, but not a magic wand. It won't fix bad code or fill in the gaps of your logic. But it might just give you that extra hour to do something more enjoyable, like writing more code, or not.